Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is John J Gaming on the mic here, coming at you with some Indiana State basketball as we're getting ready to embark on the semifinals of the Missouri Valley Conference Tournament. We find ourselves here after winning a couple of games in the last episode, but winning 4 games in 4 days, that is always an extremely tough proposition. And that is going to continue here, trying to come out here on the back end as a conference champion and trying to come out here as well with a chance to go ahead and handle that business. So, should be a fun one here as we get things going here. Here is your starting lineups. And before we tip off, make sure you go ahead, smack that like button, hit that subscribe button as well if you do happen to be brand new to the channel, as we'll go ahead and tip things off. And we are officially underway for the semifinals of the Missouri Valley Conference Tournament. As we do end up winning a tip off in first possession, just going to try to move the ball around, trying to get some good ball movement. Trying to find a good shot that we can take as Credible tries to back him down, but that center was not moving at all. And we're starting to run to the last couple seconds of the shot clock. Scott Smalls trying to drive it to the paint, finds Justin Credible, who lays it down. And Justin Credible will have the first points of this semifinal matchup. So we got that 2-0 lead early and also get the first stop as well. Trying to go the other way. JoJo Thompson lays it up and it's good. And the Indiana State Sycamores are off to a hot start right now. Looking to be even hotter. No. But Justin Credible is there with the offensive rebound. And we start things off on an 8-2 run. A strong start for Indiana State, which might get even hotter. Except we forget to actually take care of the ball. And we got a little bit too aggressive on defense. Luca Baraseca is going to be called for a defensive foul. And allows Southern Illinois to get right back into the game. And it ends with a couple of points the other way. So while it was a strong start for the Sycamores, we are only up by a few points. But our lead almost doubles with Scott Smalls going big in the paint. Let's go, baby. Even gets the N1 opportunity as well. And Scott Smalls will end up making his free throw as well. So up 14-10 as Augustine looks to drive into the paint. He'll get that basket to go. So we're now only up by a couple of points. Salukis with a chance to tie or possibly even take the lead as Rose goes inside and is called for the foul there too. Justin Credible is the delinquent there, called for his first personal foul as Isaac Rose is able to make both free throws. So it's a tie game as the Sycamores offense certainly has slowed down. But Ken Harris looks to change that. It's no good. Salukis have a chance to take the lead, trying to go coast to coast, and they do. So that means we had to go and take one of our timeouts. Did not like how we were playing. Let's see if that produces some kind of spark, but just not being that disciplined there on the defensive side of the ball as Barasek is called for his second foul. So that does mean Baraseka is going to have to sit for likely the rest of the first half. And it's not going to get much better, though, as Alway going coast to coast. And Barlett is also called for a personal foul as well, as the Salukis are nearly in the bonus and up by a few points as well. 6:30 left to play here in the first half as Gonwi goes inside and another foul. Chris Gentry is guilty that time around as well. So the next foul that is called upon us will send the Salukis in the bonus. We can't even get a rebound either, and we just had to play a little bit less aggressive there. Did not want to get into that bonus. Still cost us a couple of points though. So down by 6 as we try to pump it outside. Need some kind of spark quickly. JoJo going cross court's gonna find Ken Harris on the wing and slices it through. So Ken Harris is able to make the mid-ranger danger. At least that's what they're calling it. His foot was on the 3-point line. So we are down by 4. As we do have an open JoJo Thompson on the outside, but it's no good. It's going to be off the mark, and now here comes the Salukis in transition, but that's turned over as well. Here comes the Sycamores. Harris, pull up. No good, but Ramos with the rebound and puts it back up. Let's go. Oh, we're going to be down by a couple of points at the half, but hey, we got our work cut out for us here, man. We came out with the first punches. But it's very clear that the Salukis, even though they're only shooting 29% from the field, they've had more punches than we did. And they certainly got to that free throw line a lot more than what we were able to accomplish in that first half as well. As here's our player of the game, of the half, I should say, Isaac Rose. Isaac Rose was able to go to work, especially when we had Baraseka at the on the bench. Definitely had a couple of calls which I thought should have not gone their way, certainly, but nothing that we could do about it now. Just got to rock it here in the second half is now. Let's go ahead and get that second half started here, see if we can make this comeback happen. As John Phillips, he's just taking his time, just moving around slowly but surely. Do have Baraseka back in the first half as well, as Credible is going to get it out to JoJo Thompson, who does make the mid-ranger danger. So all knotted up at 28 apiece here, as we're going to try to move it around, trying for JoJo Thompson, swinging it out to the right-hand side, over to Credible. Credible tries to lay it up, just trying to put up a prayer, and surprisingly got a foul call on him. So a little bit of lady luck on our side there. Maybe the fortunes are starting to reverse the other way, as we got a turnover. Phillips brings it up and lays it in. Phillips now has 6 points here in this semifinal, as we try to close this thing out. Could come down to the last buzzer beater. Baraseka has other plans, though. 3-pointer, bang! Finally got a 3-pointer from Luke Baraseka, though. It's been a long time coming, but we certainly got it now. Only up by 5, though. As let's see if we can get another 3-pointer. No. Baraseka turns it down. Gotta throw it up quickly with Justin Credible, and he makes the mid-ranger danger. And now it's Southern Illinois that needs the timeouts. We're up by 7. 14 to go in the ball game, as Scott Smalls tries it inside. What a pocket pass by Justin Credible, as Scott Smalls has really been working it in terms of getting his teammates involved. Not a great shooting performance for Scott Smalls, but doing great and making sure everybody else is getting involved with their shots as well. As now Augustine trying to get the Salukis back in the game. Oh, I thought we were going to have a steal there, but instead it's going to be a cross-court pass to Alloway, who lays it up, and it's good. So Indiana State will also use one of their timeouts as well, trying to emphasize that, hey, we got to play better on that defensive side of the ball. This is with our season on the line, mind you, because right now, if we lost this game, probably not even going to the NIT. So it's either we win or we're done. There is simply no other third alternative. Salukis down by 4 actually, but we get the steal. JoJo Thompson looking to go the other way, finds Scott Smalls, and he gets clobbered. But Scott Smalls is going to have a foul called for him. That's Augustine's second, as Scott Smalls is successful at making both of those free throws, but Scott Smalls also gets called for a foul himself. So that leads to free throws for the Salukis the other way. Still up by 6 though, but looking to pull away here a little bit, as we have a beautiful pick and roll there to Dan Ramos. Ramos is able to sink that pocket shot in, even gets the and one as well, which is a nice little bonus. So up by 8 with less than 8 to go, but it's going to be cut down to just a 2-possession game. 54-48 is your scores. We almost turned the ball over, a second time. We find Dan Barletto, and he sinks it through. First points of the game, and it might be a dagger there, as man, we really am trying to make it to this conference championship game, down by 7 as Alloway gets that bucket to go, and all only up by 5. Ty Bergian's in the game for the Sycamores. As we move it around, finds an open Ken Harris on the outside. No good. Sycamores are now on the fast break, 3 on 2. And Ramos is called for the foul. The Salukis got to earn it from the free throw line. It only makes 1 of 2 free throws, so could not fully take advantage of the bucket. But Scott Smalls will certainly try to. Is able to settle for the mid-ranger danger. He now has 7 points in the game. As now less than 3 minutes left to play. Looking for the finisher. Credible. He's got a baby on him though. Trying to double. Moving it around quickly. Got Barasek on the outside. No good. But Phillips is there and gets blocked immediately. We got another offensive rebound. Credible. Looking. Back to Baraseka. He tries again. No good once again. And finally, John Phillips has something forced upon him. Able to get that foul call. Makes both free throws as well. It's now a 10-point lead. And with JoJo Thompson's third steal, Scott Smalls looking the other way. He's going to get to that free throw line another time. And the senior point guard has a chance to really come out and ice this game, as he does make both free throws. And beyond that, it starts to turn into a formality there, as the Indiana State Sycamores, they are going to pull away, and they are going to beat Southern Illinois 71-58. It marks our 3rd win in the last 3 days. And so, with Justin Credible named the game MVP, had that double-double, we now are staring at a chance to go to the NCAA. So one of the best teams that we have seen in this tournament, and we take them down. 71-58 was that final score. Had 4 different guys end up being in double digit for us, though. Scott Smalls, man, we were able to get him going in transition, was able to get to the free throw line plenty of times, and he ends up going 11 points, 7 assists, and also had 3 steals in this game. Speaking of those steals, JoJo Thompson may have not been very active offensively, but he made his presence felt with 3 steals himself. John Phillips also went crazy with 14.7 boards and yes, another 3 steals. Justin Credible was actually halfway to a double-double himself. He had 16 points, 14 rebounds, so he had the double-double. I was almost halfway to a triple-double though, because he had 5 assists and 5 blocks too. Finally, want to give a shout out for sure to Damon Ramos. Ramos is able to get 10 points off the bench. He also had 7 rebounds in the game. And Ken Harris was also to make his presence felt, even though he had a hard time scoring today. He had 2 steals in the ball game. But who is waiting for us on the other side? It's certainly not Wichita State. It is actually this Missouri State squad, who's just beat Craigton, who just beat the best team in the Missouri Valley, and just took down Wichita State 74-70, being your final score. So looks like it's going to be between us and Missouri State for the right to represent the Missouri Valley Conference in the NCAA tournament. And it only leaves one beautiful question. Who's going to be the team that is going to win 4 games in 4 separate days in a row? Let's now jump in to that conference championship matchup. Let's cement our destiny. Let's go. So here we are, man. A trip to the NCAA tournament now on the line. The Missouri State Bears have been doing a little bit of a Cinderella run themselves. They needed these games just to get back to 500. Meanwhile, Indiana State putting together a decent record here, 18-12. Let's see if we have what it takes to win this final game in the conference's biggest stage. As you're seeing the key players, Jeremy Bozeman on the Missouri State end trying to lead this squad to the NCAA tournament. And Layden Baraseka will be responsible for trying to lock him up here today. Need him to hold it down if we want to win this conference championship game. As here's your starting lineups one last time. Got a senior-related squad, 3 seniors on the Indiana State team trying to extend their college careers as we are tipped off and we are ready to go for that conference championship game. We'll see who ends up getting the first points as Missouri State pulls for an open free. And that's what we're talking about. Bozeman, he is a free level scorer for Missouri State. He's not going to be easy to guard upon, but it's going to be a team effort though. As Leighton Baraseka lined up at that small forward as well. He finds it open. Just incredible, and he gets it in. Oh, man, I did not realize Just Incredible had it like that. I pulled because I thought that was Dan Ramos. It was the wrong guy. But turns out Just Incredible can make that free-point jumper as well. Or it's luck. I'm not sure which is which, but hey, we're glad we take those points either way as we are locked in a close one right now. As Baraseka gets it out to John Phillips for the free-point jumper, no good. JoJo Thompson, though, is there for the offensive rebound, and Missouri State has to call some timeouts. And frankly, it was one of those games where Missouri State did not like what they saw coming out of the gate, as we'll score again with Dan Ramos. He makes some free throws, and again, the Missouri State Bears had to call some timeouts here as well. So off to a pretty good start here, up 18-9. Ramos got a baby on him. He's going to drive him in. No good initially, but he's there for the offensive rebound. Really showing he's got a baby on him right now, and he's not playing any games. So a strong start for Indiana State as we're up 20-9, but we give up an easy layup on the inside as the Bears cut it down to a 9-point game. As now, he's going to pull from the mid-ranger danger. No good. Just Incredible does get his first rebound of the game. Finds Ken Harris, who lays it in. Ken Harris, such a dynamic athlete, going coast-to-coast air. And now, he even hits the and one as well. You love to see all of that. As Missouri State struggling to find any sort of consistent offense. Meanwhile, we're moving along pretty well offensively as Phillips even has the foul called upon him. As that now makes Missouri State on the verge of being in the bonus already. As now Missouri State tries to drive inside. It's no good. Rebound by Just Incredible. Looking for a big pop moment. Barlett inside the Credible. He's got a man on him. He's gonna drive him in. Show him who the big guy is, and it's good. Just Incredible. Going to work, abusing kids on the block. And it's now a 28-13 lead. A dominant performance for Indiana State. As Harris, he pulls up for free as well. He's got it. Ken Harris with his second free. And everyone playing well for Indiana State. They're showing who wants to go to that NCAA tournament more. As Missouri State does get a rare bucket there. As now Credible again cuts it out to Barlett. Barlett over to the corner for Ken Harris. He's feeling himself. Another free for Ken Harris. He's on fire. Ken Harris just letting it rain from deep. And it's his third three-pointer made. So he's free for, I want to say free for 4 or something like that. Pretty high three-point percentage. He might go for a 4th. Oh, he passes it instead, and Barlett throws it down. Oh, my. Barlett is going to throw it down up by 21 as, oh, how does Warsaw get that rebound? Oh, we are taking it easy on him now. Sometimes you got to let the... You gotta make these Make-A-Wish kids, man. At least we're treating them like Make-A-Wish kids if, treating it seriously. But 41-20 is your score as we have a chance to go coast to coast again. Barlett gets open again and is gonna be found in the interior. It's just been a complete performance for Indiana State. And speaking of complete performances, we steal the ball again. Another steal, and it leads to a dominant first half performance. We get ourselves up 45-22. We shot extraordinarily well from all facets of the field. 44% total, 6 for 10 from deep, 7 for 10 from the free throw line. Really been a complete performance, I would say. As just incredible. I mean, he almost has a double-double, and we still have an entire second half that we got to go and play. He's got 9 points and 10 rebounds at the half, so easy to see why he has been named the player of the half. As there he is, making a rare 3-point jumper. I didn't even know he had that in him. It would have been nice to know later on earlier in the year, because he's had a chance to pull when we've actually played with him in gameplay. But that being said, just got to keep the focus. Now, with that said, I do want to keep guys fresh, so do have most of the starters on the bench to start this second half. Partially, show some good sportsmanship, and then also want to see what I have in the future of this program as well moving forward, because what we're going to see is, like I said earlier, 3 of the 5 guys that are starting this year, they are graduating. So if we can figure out who the new stars are going to be mid-season, that would be awesome, and have that succession plan in place. But with that said, Missouri State, this allows them to slowly creep their way back into the game. Just not that same level of sharpness, not that same level of focus that we originally had in that first half, as Tyber Guillen gets beat off the dribble and McGrath is able to turn that into a layup. I mean, Tyber Guillen was there. He had decent guarding position. It's just that Tyber Guillen, he's just not the same defender as Scott Smalls is. And the thing with Scott Smalls is at least Scott Smalls puts an effort on the defensive end. So is Ken Harris, and he's going to be so dangerous. The more that he gets time to develop. I mean, we're talking about a 6'6", 6'7" point guard, man. Like, he is going to be special when it's all said and done. And speaking of special, that is a good layup, as we did get our starters back in, because I felt we got to show a little bit of a spark. Let them know that you guys aren't going to come back anytime soon, as now Javion Henry has a chance to go to work. We'll have a little bit of a pick and roll set up with Chris Gentry, who lays it up and nearly gets it to go, even though he does end up getting fouled in the post. Does make his free throws, though, and a dominant lead for the Sycamores, as Tyber Guillen's going to pull from deep. That's no good, as Missouri State is now going to get the rebound, trying to set up the 2-free zone. It might have waited until we got out of that transition. That was a bad call on me, honestly, as Chris Gentry was just caught in an awkward position there. So Missouri State gets an easy bucket out of that, as Barlett is also going to pull, but he's going to be blocked. Barlett is blocked, and now here comes Missouri State the other way, and Tyber Guillen has no choice but to draw a foul upon him. That's his second personal foul. Would have liked to see him in a little bit better guarding position, but he put himself too deep in the paint there. That's going to come with a little bit of time and experience. Tyber Guillen is a little bit of a younger player, but we're still up by 20, though. We're still hanging pretty well. We're in a great spot, just got to continue to finish the job, as Ali is going to have his first assist of the game. That cuts the deficit down to 18, and then McGrath kicks it backside to Ali. Ali's going to get a bucket here as well, and here comes Missouri State, just trying to be a little spicy here in these closing moments of the Missouri Valley Conference Tournament. Corver pulling up with the little hook from Malone, and it's good. So Missouri State finally gets to that 50 burger, but still not a lot of hope, even with the Bears trying to move forward and trying to cut this thing down, as this steal from JoJo Thompson is going to shift the momentum back our way. And now we're back up to a 16-point game. So still looking pretty good here. Boza is going to try mid-ranger danger. That's good, though. So Missouri State obviously playing a lot better here in this second half, but it might be a little bit too late, though, as we'll try to move the ball around with Ramos. Ramos going inside to Chris Gentry. He misses the first basket, but second time around, even though he couldn't finish, he does get the offensive foul. And Gentry is able to make both free throws there too. So 77-59 is your score, as Ramos, we're going to get it over to Barrett. Gentry Looking to see what he does. He finds an open Ken Harris. He was hitting a lot in the first half and hits another one. And after that, we took back over in the game. And that means that the Sycamores of Indiana State are going to the NCAA tournament. And your player of the game is going to be Ken Harris, who was a certified shooter. 19 points in the game, 4 for 5 from deep. And he was a certified problem, taking us to the promised land. What a day, what a day, what a day. We end up killing it against Missouri State. We might have cruised for that second half, but it's all good. Always a great day when Scott Smalls, our highest overall player, but we only had 3 points in the game and played 10 minutes, but we still win big, and it's from a bunch of different guys. JoJo Thompson for starter. He was amazing in this game. 10 points and a few steals in the game. Could have done better at the free throw line, but other than that, it was an excellent game. Justin Credible had an amazing first half. He did taper off in that second half. Didn't play as much, and it kind of showed, but he still managed to come out with a double-double plus a couple of blocks as well to go with all of that. Ramos was very close to a double-double himself. He had 7 points and 9 rebounds. Ken Harris was your player of the game, as you saw. He had 19 in the game, and that leads all Indiana State Sycamore scorers. Barlett even had double-digit points. He made the most of his opportunities today. He ends with 11 points in the game. And it was just a great day because all of our players that did dress for us did get to play. And now we have to find out who we're going to play in the NCAA tournament. Let's jump right into that. Alright boys, so we are actually here, man. We are here on that selection Sunday, and we are excited to jump into this here, man. 65 team field. We are going to be one of 31 conference champions, and now it's just go ahead and seeing what we got going on in terms of how things are going to shake out. As there's a quick look at that top 25. Butler is in there. They are number 20 in the nation, and that is a team that we did end up beating in the regular season. So we do have a big time win on our resume that could help us out a little bit. Here's a quick look at the bubble. Here's what's looking like for the bubble. We are in, but do we get a second team though? Bradley seems like they are right on the edge with that 21-10 record. They had a pretty good RBI, but did get bounced early from the NCAA tournament. Meanwhile, here are your top bracket teams in the NCAA tournament. You got Kansas. Tennessee is also in there as well to go with it. As for the other regionals that what we got going on, Marquette is going to be your top team from the Midwest. And it just leaves now with just one team left in this NCAA tournament to be a 1 seed, and it's going to go to the Memphis Tigers. So we knew we weren't going to be a 1 seed, but we know how things are going to go ahead and start shaking out. As of other games of note, we do end up seeing that the Butler Bulldogs, who we did beat in the regular season, they do wind up being a 5 seed. They will take on the LaSalle Explorers on a Thursday, so that does help with our resume, seeing that we did actually beat that Butler team, like I said, in the regular season. So good to see that little resume booster. And it looks like we are going to take on the Duke Blue Devils. We come in as a 14 seed, but man, that Duke team is going to be absolutely tough. Will not be easy for us to handle, but I am absolutely excited for the challenge that lies ahead of us. And then here is a little breakdown of the conference teams, and it does look like that the Missouri Valley did not get a second team, although the Horizon, Conference USA, the Colonial Athletic Association, and even the Southern Conference, they were actually able to get multiple teams in the NCAA tournament, which does mean that Bradley was left out. And oh baby, Bradley, they were so close. They were literally the last team out. That's a tough pill to swallow, but because Bradley did finish as the number 1 team in the Missouri Valley, they will at least get to participate in the NIT, and likely will be one of the top seeded NIT squads in that particular postseason tournament. So there it is, boys. We know what our first round matchup is going to be, taking on those Duke Blue Devils. And I'm already getting a sense that we're going to need to play the game of our lives if we want to win this first round matchup. So excited for the opportunity, especially with how we play in that second half of the season, to be able to rebound and to be able to go out there and get an opportunity in that big dance. And I hope you guys are excited for it as well. Next episode, we will take on the Duke Blue Devils led by Coach K, and we are going to dive right in, man. It's going to be so exciting of an episode, man, and I hope you guys are there for it. If you enjoyed this episode of the conference tournament action, I need you guys to go ahead and do a couple of things for me. Hit that like button, and then also hit that subscribe button as well if you do have to be brand new to the channel. This is John Jake Gaming on the mic signing off, but hoping you guys are all out there having a good one. Take care, everybody.